After all of the Michigan State, Michigan half court stand on the logo nonsense this weekend, Dusty May was in front of the media again on Monday, and he doubled and tripled down on his stance on this. His exact quote after on Monday being asked if he really knew or did not know Michigan State's court kissing tradition, he said, "quote I don't watch Michigan State documentaries. Number one, do I know the customs and traditions of any other Big Ten school? No, I don't, and I won't know until I experience it. I don't have a Sparty foam finger growing up." There's a whole lot of spice in the way Dusty May is talking about, but you get his point. He's unfamiliar. He doesn't give a damn about what Michigan State's traditions are. You loved the approach he took yesterday, Dion. I'm assuming you love doubling and tripling down on it.
Have to. You have to double and triple down. If you're going to take the approach you took Sunday, you have to double and triple down. I think he's playing his cards exactly the way he should with this, top to bottom. It's one of those situations where I think both sides are correct. Michigan State should absolutely feel some type of way. Trey Holloman did his thing. Izzo post game did his thing. Michigan, absolutely has the right to mess with their tradition. That's what rivalries are for. If you want to do the tradition, do it against Northwestern. Obviously, we knew they couldn't in that moment. But what makes a rivalry great is like, yeah, that tradition's cool. We don't like it. We're going to disrespect it. We're going to pretend we didn't know about it, so on and so forth. So I love everything that Dusty May did. Um, Most specifically, having fat at half court. Like that was like every stream he's pulled in this has been perfect.
You keep coming back to that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I am surprised Dusty May is going this route. I now understand why he is. I think Dusty feels that he has to take this position. It's like he's backed himself into a corner, right? We get Dusty's point in this, and the condescending nature of how he's going about this is what frustrates me because even if you don't know Michigan State's tradition, you could learn about it in the moment. You could be informed, hey, this is something special that we do as a program that is about to happen in the next 2 minutes. And then you could act with respect and just be a nice guy, basically. Now, again, Dusty's point here, I think, which tells us a lot about Dusty, is why the hell do we need to be the nice guys? Why does Michigan State get to walk around chirping in our face, stomping, swearing at us like Holloman and Fears do constantly, antagonizing, victory lapping, and then, oh, by the way, you want our respect and our kindness at the end of this? No, F y'all. That's where Dusty May is coming from on this. And again, he's not just flat out saying it. He's trying to spin this in a creative direction of like, I don't care about Michigan State. I've never watched the doc. Why do you assume that I would know this? Who cares? So it's a little performative for me. Like, just come out and sit at the podium and be like, listen, I don't care about their tradition. I'm the head coach of Michigan basketball. That this is it. Like, you want me to sit here and act like Michigan State's favorite tradition is supposed to matter to me? It doesn't. I don't care. I want my guys to stand on that logo because they're allowed to. Just say that. He won't say that. And now it's frustrating to me as a Michigan fan because guess what? We're 3 days past the cycle, and this is all that we're talking about with Michigan's head coach. In a year where they were competing for a Big Ten championship, because he's continually doubling and tripling down on this stance, we are 3 days removed from this game talking about how Michigan's head coach doesn't respect their rival, who beat them twice in emphatic fashion. It's never good to be the loser who's doubling and tripling down on being petty. And I'm frustrated with my coach right now.
Yeah, but like what I would say is this is how you create a rivalry, G. So like, yeah, this is all we're talking about, but I think this is perfect for his recruiting. This is how you create a difference between the two schools where it's like line in the sand, are you rocking with us or are you rocking with them? Type of thing. And I think that's really good for like recruiting, honestly, for both parties. seriously, like Michigan State fans, I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way. Like I'm all in on what Michigan State did uh, as well. I thought Izzo handled it perfectly. I mean, Trey Holloman, like he's one of my favorite players in the country. He was before this moment, definitely is now. But I feel like Dusty's doing the best that he can to handle this situation in a way that's going to be spun positively for himself. It might not feel that way now, but I think a few months from now, when recruits start to funnel in, I think you'll see what he did enamored himself to some recruits from the standpoint of like we're drawing our line in the sand. Y'all don't get to talk crazy to us. And I saw the video you and Cart did. I mean, Cart thinking Jaden Akins politely asked them to move off the logo. What I mean, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's just again, we're just getting into like a twisted petty off here between everybody. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of suspension of disbelief when it turns into like, oh, we asked. Y'all have been on our ass for a month, letting us know how awful we are and how much y'all hate us, and you want us. Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Let's do whatever Michigan State asks us to do. Like that's not how this works. But
No,
I am frustrated. The players doing it is one thing. Fan base is doing it is one thing. My head coach sitting up here making Tom Izzo hate him more and more and more and more and more is not something I'm excited about for the future.
do you think it's gonna like inspire Izzo?
No, because he already hates him to the max. But I'm just not a fan of getting spicy when you lose. It's
That's
just not how I am wired. You lose, shut your mouth and get out of there. And Dusty, again, he's standing up for his guys. He has to do it. But right now, like if the book was written on Dusty May at Michigan, the book would be written about how broken this basketball team is, what went wrong, how they're the first team in 35 years with a negative efficiency margin that had a good record that his rival owns. That's what happened this year. So, and now we have to add the asterisk to it, the caveat to it that, oh, and by the way, Dusty May doesn't respect Michigan State traditions. Okay.
I I agree with all that. I think this team needed this distraction though. I think the biggest
Sure.
issue that Michigan's had is they've been so focused on their inefficiencies, so focused on their weaknesses and trying to solve it that they kind of forgot who they were. And I think if you remove that thought process and everyone's focused on like what Dusty's saying and Dusty's like bringing everybody together, then I think you're going to come out and see a very like inspired Michigan team. I don't love talking trash when you lose, though. I definitely agree with that. Um, I just think year one, though, I think I'm okay with it because, I mean, if you told me a year ago today that Michigan would go 0-2 against Michigan State with a new head coach and a very new roster, I think I would agree with that. And Michigan obviously like overperformed this season. So you're establishing a rivalry based upon overperforming. And to be fair, too, this is kind of what Jim Harbaugh did, where it's like, hey, we're getting smoked by Ohio State. I'm gonna make it about me and Ryan Day. And once he made it about himself and Ryan Day, Michigan ain't lost to Ohio State since.
Right. Yeah, I see it. I mean I get it. Again, as a fan of this rivalry, I don't mind anything that's happening. And the one thing I would say, just from talking to people, Michigan State fans are downplaying this like, oh, he didn't know. He was a grad assistant at Indiana 35 years ago. Of course he knows what our tradition is. I would just say this. I truly do believe that people outside of Michigan State don't know or care about this tradition the way Michigan State fans think they do. Like it's just the way everyone views their team and their program. You're not the center of the universe. Like I'm sure there are other fans that have seen a clip of this from time to time when a player like Draymond or Cassius Winston comes through. You also don't like bank that in your head and remember it forever when 35 years ago you watched Sean Respert do it. Like that, and if you didn't know about it, that's the one thing. I like it probably should have been more communicated the day of like what's going on. And if Michigan State had done that with Dusty, someone could come out and say it, right? Like we could have released a statement like, "Hey, our people at the arena made it very clear that this is protocol." And that hasn't happened. Instead, it's just like, well, Dusty should have known when he was at Eastern Michigan. Like, I don't know that that's true. I don't know that anyone cares except for Michigan State fans, and you should care. But I get lost on that element of this too. We could do 7 more days of this cycle. Are we going to have to do that?
We might have to because I think the care part is what everyone's missing. Like, yeah, I mean, as an outside perspective within the rivalry, did I know Michigan State does this? Yes. Is it something I'm thinking about in the build up to the last game? No, because it doesn't happen every year. You don't know about it all the time. And to be completely honest, you stop caring about it after it happens. This moment, though, Michigan State fans, I hate to break this to you guys, this just made everybody care about it though. Dusty May just made your tradition go nuclear. So like in a weird way, everything you want out of this tradition and every eyeball you want on it, you just got it because of your rival. So I think the notion that everyone didn't know about it, including myself, because I didn't necessarily like know or care about it at all times. Like that's out the window now. Everybody knows about it. Everybody cares about it. I also think you might get some more teams messing around with it too, because it is a bit of an obnoxious tradition.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. All right, well, hopefully this is the last time Dusty May doubles and triples down on this because I don't want to keep talking about this.